Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's happened again. After Zach Edey was dominating the court for the past few weeks, dominating the league for the past few weeks, now all of a sudden, it's all tumbling down once again. The news breaking on a Thursday afternoon. He's going to have to be sidelined for Memphis' sake is an indefinite amount of time. What's going on, everybody? Jaren Jackson Jr. here for another episode of Grizzlies Digest, bringing you the latest news and unfortunate injury update here. Just want to shout out quickly our 32% of subscribers. Y'all are amazing and fantastic. 68% of you, because we're getting this news to you on the dot as soon as possible. Hopefully you can repay me back by hitting that subscribe button down below. But this is the news of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Memphis Grizzlies center Zach Edey will be reevaluated in 4 weeks with a stress reaction in his left ankle. This is a management plan to optimize Zach's long-term health in consultation with the Grizzlies and medical experts. That's what Mark Bartelstein of Priority Sports tells ESPN. So if we remember back in the summer, Zach Edey had to have surgery on his left ankle, and then he came back onto the basketball court just a few weeks ago, and he was just dominating the basketball court. As you see here, he's really starting to get back to what he did at Purdue. Not exactly the dominant consistent scoring that we saw whenever he was playing with the Boilermakers, but that same kind of intensity, that attitude where every time he'd get that block, he would say, "Give me that, you know what." Obviously, you can complete the sentence for yourself, but basically, he's just been on a tear. I mean, getting offensive rebounds, his defensive rating in the NBA is unbelievable. I'm not sure, you have to fact check me on this, but he might actually be maybe the best in defensive rating in the NBA. I'm not sure about that. That's obviously not going to stand after basically today or even tomorrow. But Zach Edey has been one of the bright spots. I think he's been really the momentum changer of this Grizzlies team so far, and it's really unfortunate to see. And whenever you see this language, I don't even really take this seriously anymore. If you're a Grizzlies fan, I wouldn't even take this word seriously anymore. They say reevaluated in 4 weeks. Now that could mean so many things. Like, to me, reevaluated is just another way of saying, well, come back, and you're not going to be back in 4 weeks, but come back in 4 weeks, and then we'll tell you, well, how long still is he going to be out for? You know, if you're a Grizzlies fan, that's kind of just what you think at this point. Obviously, I don't want to speculate or anything, but that's just kind of what it is. I mean, if you're injured, like you're injured and you're going to come back, so XYZ week, or said week, then you do that. But if you're just going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, and I'm not optimistic that he's going to be back in mid-January. That's just my opinion, but hope he is. Certainly hope he is. I know the Grizzlies medical team is doing their best. As to add on to Shams' ex-post from Thursday afternoon following this step, the short and long-term prognosis for Zach is excellent. Edey has averaged 16.5 points, 14 rebounds, 2.2 blocks over the last 6 games. Memphis winning 7 of its last 9, and of course, that's a lot to do with what's been going on while Zach has been on the court. Now, what I'm afraid of, and this is a lot of these guys who are, if you're 7'3" to around 7'6", I'm talking like basically from Kristaps Porzingis to Yao Ming, Sean Bradley, blast from the past, if you remember those two guys, Yao Ming in the Hall of Fame. But Yao Ming didn't even play 9 full seasons. And that was a lot to do with the fact that it's like the bigger you are, like the more sensitive the bones are. And that's why I'm kind of scared for Wembanyama, why I'm kind of scared for Edey for their long-term health. I want them to make it. I want them to make it in the league for a long time. Obviously, Wembanyama is a one-of-one guy. I know we're all excited to see what he can do from here on out, but we're especially excited for Zach Edey. because of what he's been doing. I mean, this sophomore leap has been quite the leap of what more he can do for his career. And I think this is probably the safe option to what, I know we're all disappointed here, but what Memphis and their medical staff's doing, probably the conservative option to preserve Zach's long-term health is what they said. That's what they said in Shams' X post. But I think it's just a matter of thinking, okay, well, this guy's 7'4". How really healthy can he be long term? And I think that right there, if we go back to that first post, that right there is a good, very good sign for me that this plan will optimize his long term health, and that's what we all care about, because I'm sure as a lot of his agent and his teammates, his family, and everyone else around him, his camp is concerned. I mean, whenever you're a big, tall guy, that you only become so much more vulnerable, especially with your lower body. But this is a great, great sign for Zach to come in his long-term health, and that's what we all hope for. So this is DeMichael Cole. Going back to the injury itself, Zach Edey recently told him that he was dealing with some soreness after games in his ankle, but didn't sound like anything too serious. DeMichael adds, not sure if this is related, but this is a major gut punch after Memphis started going on a run with Zach Edey back in the lineup. And Memphis right now, they're kind of, I don't have the graphic right now, but they're kind of around that play-in area, just outside that play-in area, like that 9th, 10th, 11th spot right now. Obviously, that really doesn't matter right now, because right now we're approaching mid-December. But you need all your guys to play. I mean, you can't afford the Grizzlies to be losing more of these games that they could very well win. Obviously, if your name is Jock Landale, if your name is Jaren Jackson Jr., if your name is Santi Aldama, you have a bigger role. Jock Landale will have a much bigger role. And I know he can knock down shots. I know he's efficient in rebounding. But of course, you're missing a big piece. And we were going through the first few games of the season without Edey, thinking, well, what's Edey going to look like in his sophomore season? And when he came back, we're like, wow, we missed a lot. Like, that guy, he really made us miss him those first few games. And now with the tear he's been going on for these past few weeks, we're only going to miss him more, as he's not going to be back until the 2026 calendar season. So this is just an overall medical update before we head out today. So we talked about Zach Edey. What else do we got? John Konchar sustained a UCL tear in his left thumb during the Grizzlies' most recent game against Portland, and will undergo a procedure to repair the surgery. Expected to make a full recovery. Good news for him. Good news for the Grizzlies. And a timeline for his return will be provided following the procedure. Javon Small progressing well in his rehabilitation from a turf toe injury in his left foot. He's expected to return to play in 3 to 5 weeks, and further updates will be provided as appropriate. So we've been hearing updates about how Ja is progressing very well. How his status has been upgraded, basically. Whenever your status is, like, it goes from out to doubtful, questionable, probable, and all that. So he's looking to be back. Ja's looking to be back very soon, I think. He'll probably take the court. I hope he'll take the court sooner than Javon Small will, because we can't wait for Javon Small to get that healthy. But that's going to do it for us. You can comment down below your reactions, thoughts on Zach Edey and his injury. You can like this video, comment on this video. Yes, share this video as well. And we'll see you, hopefully, with a better update, better mood soon with another video. Thank you.